Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Healing in Heels. It's me, psychic medium Daniel Monroe, and
Mama Corey.
Mama Corey. Say hello and where you're from. Come on in. We love to know what you guys are doing, where you guys are from. I was going to say something inappropriate, but I won't.
I'm in an undisclosed location.
Yeah. Yeah, downstairs. Anyways, come on in.
Not downstairs, but downstairs.
Come on in and say hello, where you're from. Tonight, we're talking about one question every human being eventually asks, and that is, what happens when we die? What happens when we pass away? And you guys know I've been doing the work of mediumship for over 10 years. And I have seen, and I grew up in a very religious upbringing, and I have seen so many different souls come forward and talk about what they have experienced when they cross over and what that experience is like. But we're also going to talk about tonight what the experience is like for the ones that are still here in the physical world. So, Mama Corey, you're older than me, right?
A little.
Just by a smidgen, just a smidgen. But you're older than me by a hair.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you went through, either with friends or, my parents are still alive, your parents are crossed over, and we're not going to get into we're going to teach about it here in a moment, but what was that like? Because I've only been through, obviously I've worked with departed loved ones in that setting who've already crossed over, but I've only went through losing someone on the personal level, I think only twice when it wasn't a pet, which we'll talk about pets in a minute as well, but only 2 times in my life. So what was it like for, people who truly were already counting down?
I was blessed that I got to be with my parents to exactly the very end with both of them. And it's pretty amazing when you look at your loved ones, the sense of peace that comes over, because you realize the struggle on earth is over. I ain't gonna lie, there was a little bit of panic, like, oh my gosh, I got very selfish. What am I gonna do? What's gonna happen to me? And then I looked at my mom, who struggled. My mom had COPD. And it was bliss. And one of the things that I found comforting, and I think I've shared this before, and if I have, and just tell me, but I had what my mom was there, and her loved ones came to greet her, and she shared that with us. She looked up into the corner. When your loved one passes and they're looking away, they're seeing their loved ones come across and greeting them on the other side of the veil. I always look at that other side of the veil like a sheer curtain in my mind's eye. And she made a comment about an aunt that I didn't know, and she laughed and said, oh, she said she thinks that stuffed animal is her dog. It's a reindeer. She goes, everybody thinks it's a dog. And I was like, well, this is some little cuckoo beans here. And a couple months later, I was visiting my mom's sister, my aunt, and I was telling her about it. And she goes, oh my gosh, that's Aunt so-and-so. When her dog passed away, she carried a stuffed animal like she did her dog. And that, for me and for my aunt and my sister that was with me, that was that confirmation that the loved ones do come and greet you. I'd heard about it and I thought, I wasn't quite in the believing state at that time, and I seen it and I was like, there it is. And that was something. And the other thing was, we had a balloon, a big butterfly balloon. My mother really loved butterflies. My girlfriend had got it for her. And somebody had mentioned, I believe it was my sister, we should probably cut it and just, as a memory of my mom, which I don't recommend letting go balloons because it kills animals now, but didn't know any better then. So we did, and I was at Southwest Washington Hospital, and this balloon flew straight up, turned around, bowed down to us, and took off. And I was like, "There's my mom's soul. Sorry." And it was very wonderful. It
That's
was
beautiful.
I found a lot of peace in that. And the same thing with my father. And I had kind of delved into spirituality a little bit more, so I was aware that when the soul passes, that the soul sticks around. And I was able to, it was me and the hospice nurses, and they were so wonderful. And I was able to share with them. They asked me, they said, "Would you like to share who your dad was before this?" And it just came over me. I started telling the history of my dad that I forgot I even knew. And it was as if he was like, "Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, you remember that?" And that was a very beautiful gift I was able to give him. So I know when he was watching it over, he was seeing me give him a tribute. And that was really, it was really something special. It still gets me.
That's beautiful. I know. Come on in and say hello, say where you guys are from. And tonight we're talking about what happens when we pass away. And I have been doing, readings, and I've been in thousands of hours at this point, connecting with people's loved ones in spirit. And what spirit constantly shares is actually far more loving and peaceful and intelligent, like Mama Corey was just sharing, than most people even imagine. Death is not the end of us. It's a
Mm-mm.
transition of consciousness. So our mind is still here because that's the human aspect, but our soul transitions, the consciousness, the energy, the vibration of us transitions onto the other side. So tonight we're going to talk about what the spirit world has shown me about the moments of passing. But there are cues, like Mama Corey was talking about, of family members coming and visiting, and I like to call it prepping, getting the soul ready and getting them used to the vibration or used to that connection of the other side. And death isn't something our cultural like avoids talking about. Death is something that we should truly celebrate, because in the aspect and all reality of it, it's the human side of us that are still here that are sad. Our loved ones over in spirit, they're okay. Now, again, they don't get stuck in purgatory, but they do go, "Oh my goodness, what about my loved one? Like, can I bring them with us?" And obviously they can't, because it's not our time. Our soul contract is not complete. But when someone passes, the soul is not destroyed. It separates from the physical body. So I like to call it the golden cord, if you will. And this is what spirit has showed me. Now, I don't know about you, but I know I have astral projected at nighttime, and I have had, different experiences outside of my body, especially while sleeping. And I've had some actually near death experience. People don't actually know this. When I was younger, I had 3 nails go through my head. And something that has always stuck with me was it wasn't my time. It wasn't my time. Even the paramedics were like, the way it went into your skull is it didn't, I know, trigger warning, I'm so sorry, you guys. It didn't actually go through the skull. Somehow, we know how. The 3 nails ended up going into my head, and it ended up shifting upward somehow like a sliver. So it never actually penetrated through my skull. It only penetrated through the skin and somehow went in like this and up like a sliver. 3 nails. And my entire life, I kept hearing, "It wasn't your time. It wasn't your time. It wasn't your time." And I did grow up in a very difficult situation and a very abusive at times, upbringing. And there were moments of so much depression and darkness that I went through that I remember just, trigger warning. I'm so sorry tonight, you guys. We have to talk about death. I remember going, "You know what? I no longer want to be here in the physical world." I remember having these, and that same feeling of what happened when I was younger with the nails, I could feel it's not your time. You have more to complete. But when people go through illnesses or go through difficult situations or car accidents, there is an energetic thing that happens above us with our spirit guides and our master guides. And our master guides are somebody that's assigned to us from birth. They don't ever switch out. But our spirit guides will switch out depending on where we are. So I want to kind of differentiate the two of those. So your master guide, I want you guys tonight to think of them like your 911. So they see this is about to happen. They see this is about to go down. But what ends up happening is they go, okay, well, we're going to use me, for example, with the 3 nails. Okay, this is about to happen. Little farming moment is what happened. A goat got away from me when I was younger and I went down to go, get them. But spirit knew, oh no, the goat was over here. Daniel's on his way over there to go get the goat back. This is about to happen. Is this his time? Is there different life lessons? Should he have become blind? Should he become? So your master guide comes in and goes, okay, let's look at his soul contract. What's going to happen? What's going to go down? Does he need to do X, Y, and Z? Does he need to complete, and meet these other people later on in life and become a psychic medium and blah, blah, blah? Or is there a different lesson that the family needs to learn and, he's going to have some sort of disability from this? Because that was the one thing the paramedics kept saying, or you're so lucky. You could have went blind. You could have went deaf. Where it went in, it could have really done some damage. And I was able to walk away from it with literally just 3 little marks. My head was stuck on it, you guys. I'm not joking. My mom had to come over and slide it right off. Some of you guys were like, please stop. But it's true. But what happened is in that moment, my master guide said, you know what? This is going to be okay. We're just going to make sure things, go about a little bit differently. But that's not always the case for some people. And for people who have illnesses or they have cancer or they have their inside shutting down or they have car accidents, sometimes your master guide will go, you know what, it's their time, because the family's not going to be able to go through X, Y, and Z. The family shouldn't go through X, Y, and Z. Or you know what? This person has completed what they needed to complete here. So there's so much that happens around, especially very quick, unexpected departures. But the beautiful thing of it is your loved ones will always appear and always hold you. And it doesn't matter if your loved one is a pet, if you met them here in the physical world, because on the other side, they have you. They know you. They walk beside you. They grow with you. Look, I'm getting full body chills. They truly have had you from day one. So don't ever feel like you're alone. And especially, I get asked this all the time. Oh my gosh, I wasn't there when my mom passed away or when my dad passed away. Your loved ones, your master guide goes out and gets them. And I get full on goosies. They go out and get them and say, this is what's going to happen. Your loved one's going to need you. They're going to need you to come through and help you transition them into spirit world, because it is shocking. It's like, oh my goodness, it's a different vibration. Everything's vibing at a higher frequency. So your master guide will work with you during this time, but so does your departed loved ones. So does your soul family on the other side get to come in. So that's why it's a telltale sign for people who are terminally ill or have dementia or Alzheimer's, because their mind is like, nope. And their soul is like, hey, I still want to have fun. Girls just want to have fun, okay? So they're not going to be bed rested. They're not going to be bound by the bed. So what ends up happening is your soul can be on the other side and be here in the physical world. So when we are talking about, departing tonight and what happens when we pass away, always remember that your loved ones are never alone. Their master guide, there's a bigger plan to it. I know in the moment of grief, you guys, it doesn't ever feel that way. It doesn't, sometimes we can't see past that grief. But also always remember that the soul truly is the driver. The soul knows what's going to happen. Because again, if you guys look up the Heart Math Institute, there's so much intuition and frequency that your heart even picks up outside of the physical body. Isn't that wild? Go look it up. And your soul is so connected to that, and it truly is the driver. So when we go through getting ready to pass, I want you guys to know that here on the physical aspect, people are not alone. People are not suffering because the soul knows, hey, this is about to happen. I need to check out. I've had so many car accident situations, completed suicide situations come through, and they said, hey, you know what? It looked a lot worse than what my soul actually went through. And I
I
asked them
hear you say that all the time.
all the time. And I
Yeah.
remember the first time I heard Spirit say that during a reading, I said, what do you mean? And they said to me, Daniel, my soul, my mind knew I was going to do this. My soul knew I didn't need to suffer. And it ended up actually pulling me out. My soul completed and transitioned into spirit. So that when I learned that and spirit showed me that, that was the most beautiful thing that I have ever relayed in a reading, is that your loved one did not suffer. So always remember again that the soul is the driver. Think of the body as the vehicle. And the body means the depression, it means the anxiety, it means the diabetes, it means the cancer. The body is the vehicle, but the soul is the driver. And the driver will always leave the car when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I'm over here talking mechanics.
You're
But
so
no,
boy today.
I'm such a boy. I wore green yesterday. Who am I? But I want you guys to know that when the soul passes, when the soul transitions, it's
Mm-hmm.
not destroyed. It separates from the physical body.
And it's not
So
attached to that physical body.
now, so going
It,
back to that cord, that golden cord, when we astral project, that's why we're able to come back when we're done playing and we're done, our souls are connecting or having spiritual downloads. It's able to come back because that golden cord is anchoring them in. Think of it as anchoring them in, like tying a boat to a dock. Jesus, look at this, Corey. All these lovely analogies, boy terms tonight. So think of it as being tied to a dock, and your soul, when it is time to transition and spirit goes, hey, Daniel's complete, my life cord, my golden cord will end up being cut, because then my soul is no longer tethered to the vehicle, the physical
mm-hmm.
body. And so what happens is, again, energetically, there's so much stuff twirling over here that, and this happened with my grandmother when she passed away. My grandmother had cancer. She wanted to go back to Mexico, and she went back to Mexico, and I remember her FaceTiming me and having my dad FaceTime, and she was saying all this stuff in Spanish, and I was like, Dad, what is she saying? Because I'm not completely fluent in Spanish. And he was saying that she was sharing with me how my tia Esperanza, who passed away, came and was visiting her. She saw her mom in a beautiful white gown coming and visiting her. And I told my dad, I said, Dad, I know you guys don't fully know the work that I do, but I need you to know her time is soon. And he goes, well,
Mm-hmm.
that's interesting, because the reason why I'm here, I was hanging out with my brothers that I haven't seen in forever. She wanted to do a meeting tonight. And that night, she told everybody, this is what I want. This is where I want it to go. And it was right after look, I got goosies, right after she got those visits. So again, the soul is a driver. It knew, and it told the vehicle, hey, we need to park and have this little come to Jesus moment and talk about the physical stuff, because my grandmother didn't want any fighting. She goes,
Mm-hmm.
what's done is done. All my debts are paid. Nobody owes me anything. Nobody better fight about it. And then she shortly passed away right after that, within like the next day or so. So the
Yeah.
soul truly does know. Come on
Yeah.
in and make sure you guys say hello. Hello, Lori. How are you? Tonight we're talking about what happens when we pass away, what truly happens when it is our time to cross over. And I want to know from you guys, do you guys have a beautiful story? Like, let us know in the comments below. Or what was it like when your loved ones, when it was their time to transition? Was it chaotic? Was it heavy? Was it beautiful? Now, let me tell you, not all the time is it a crazy, chaotic situation. I've seen some beautiful, beautiful honoring of the person when it's their time to pass away. So let us know in the comments down below what stories you guys want to share. Truly. Let me hop over to Instagram. I got to see where I put that little window. But I know, like, for the other thing too is I call it, so that's getting your soul prepped when you have your loved one step forward. The other thing I like to call is unnesting. Now, unnesting is when the soul knows, like, hey, this is about to happen, or I'm going to get sick. And, they call it nesting for moms or parents when, I'm going to have a baby. Right now, I'm in my nesting era to where I'm like decorating and I'm organizing and I'm getting this and I'm getting that. So they call it nesting when a mom or a parent or a dad or whichever are getting ready to bring a new life into the home, and you start staying home, you start spending more time, I bought a kitchen table. I haven't had a kitchen table in a while, and I started truly nesting. So what Spirit has showed me is unnesting. It's when the soul knows, hey, this is going to happen. It's almost my time to depart, but the mind doesn't know. The mind doesn't know, but the soul can feel it. The soul can feel the master guide and departed loved ones coming in closer, coming in during dreams. Now, disclaimer, just because you have a dream with a departed loved one, Daniel Monroe is not telling you it's your time, okay? But what it truly is your soul starts going, you know what, sweetie? When I pass away, I want you to have my cheese grater. You know what? Go ahead and take those books that I've had on the bookshelf for a while. Go ahead, I don't need them. You start giving things away. You start uncluttering. You start unnesting because your soul is like, you know what? This is just stuff. I don't need this anymore. And you start kind of purging and you start talking about, you know what? I want this to happen. I want that. You know what? I was thinking about it. When it's my time to go, I want this song to happen. You are unnesting. You can feel it. And a lot of times in readings, I've seen this to where Spirit has said, Daniel, let them know that I knew it was my time. Let them know I could feel. And I have said this during readings, and I'm sure, Mama Corey, you've heard me say, you know what? Even though it didn't look like it, your loved one, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your kid told me and showed me that his soul knew it was his time. And they started talking about stuff. I always thought that was weird. And I have a situation. So I've seen this happen in readings. I never experienced it personally until I met my dear friend Autumn. Autumn was somebody my mom like caregived for and such, and I used to go and sit with her, and we had the best time together. I only knew her for 3 months. We had the best time together. And I would go and sit with her so my mom couldn't have a break because she had a stroke and it affected like her left side. And it was my sister and I, we were there, we were hanging out with Autumn. And I remember when we were leaving, she goes, hey, Daniel, I want you to know I love you. And I'm like, thank you. I love you too, girly. And she's like, no, I want you to know. And she grabbed me. She's like, come here. And she grabbed me by my hand. And I'll never forget this. She goes, I want you to know. Oh, I don't want to cry. She goes, I want you to know that I love you. Like you are my own family. Like we are blood. And I was like, I love you too. You are family, Autumn. Like, and you always will be family. And I go, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. And she was actually supposed to come to one of my shows right before. And it was actually during this time is when she passed. So how ironic, right? That we're talking about her tonight. And that night, I got in the car and I told my sister, I was like, oh my God, Autumn's being so lovey-dovey and so weird and so gushy. Like, what the hell? And my sister was like, yeah, she was kind of off today and like just super like, oh my God, I love you guys. I love you, kid. I was like, oh, she was like gushy with you too. And she was like, yeah. And that night, my mom called me and she said, Autumn passed away. That night, I just got full on goosies. So Autumn's soul knew. And it, literally, her heart went into shock. Like it wasn't planned. It wasn't anything. But her soul knew that her soul contract here in the physical world was complete. And she said her goodbyes. And that's something that her soul again knew. It knew that she wasn't going to make it much longer. And she gave me truly, oh, I don't want to cry. She gave me the sweetest closure and goodbye that I could ever have gotten. And so when your loved ones that are sick or that are ill are telling you guys these things, please, 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 please slow down and cherish those moments.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just gonna
so
say,
glad
don't
I
brush it
didn't
off.
just go. I'm so glad I didn't just go. Yeah, Autumn, love you. I gotta go. The car's going. I'm so glad I paused and I was like, girlie, I love you too. And I listened. And I don't really truly get emotional in a personal setting like that. I don't. And I'm always busy and I'm always on my phone. I'm always this, or I used to be. And I remember just pausing in spirit saying, turn around. Because I was already, bye, Autumn, see you tomorrow. Like, my mom already pulled up. I was ready to go. I was hungry. It was the middle of nowhere, my parents' houses. I was ready to go. And I remember reaching for the door handle. And she's like, I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And she goes, no, I really mean it. And I paused. And I could have been like, yeah, mean it too. Bye, see you tomorrow. And I paused. And I turned back. And I said, Autumn, I truly love you too. Like, I love you, girly. And I want you guys to remember this, to slow down and pay attention to what your loved ones are saying, what your babies are even saying, because there's always some sort of energetic truth. There's always some sort of energetic connection that, again, the soul is the driver, the body is the vehicle. What does this comment say? I have my little tripod in the way. Can you connect with Autumn now that she is on the other side? So I could feel her. She'll come and visit in dreams. But like to have a full blown, like I'll have like little conversations here and there. But if it's like, Autumn, I need to know X, Y, and Z, my own mind, my own ego gets involved. And so it becomes very, very not
Right.
so productive and very persuaded by my own wishful thinking or my own things that I want to hear. So the most beautiful times that she'll come through is I'll feel her and I'll feel like that hug, or she'll come through in dreams, or little things will pop up and I'm like, hey girlie, how you doing?
And also you've used her as a tool in
Yeah,
training,
I've used her in classes and training to train other mediums.
and she's popped up with new mediums and little things, little information. I think one of, because I read Autumn in one of your classes, and it was you were asking us, words, and it was stuffed animals with
Mm-hmm.
you and I, and you're like, what was it? And I'm like, I can't remember right now what it was, but there was something special with you, her, and stuffed animals.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a bunch of comments. I just love you. You're fabulous. Thank you, Laura. You're so sweet. There is Instagram comments. Hold on. Hello, Michaela. Hello. Come on in. Make sure you guys say hello, 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 and where you're from. All right. Just as my mom was passing, she got a scared look on her face. It was just for a few seconds, and then I told her it was okay and she could go. I hope I told her I loved her, but I also know she knew. So that's the other thing too that I've seen during readings is our loved ones sometimes, and I literally just said this the other night, a cocktails in spirit, which side note, we have cocktails in spirit happening on my birthday. It's on my actual birthday, March 24th in Ridgefield, Washington. Go get tickets if you don't already. But at the last cocktails in spirit, this message came through and it was, let my loved one know I wasn't afraid of passing. I was afraid of leaving them behind. And what happens is when we tell spirit, because again, we're telling the vehicle, we're telling the human side, the human vessel, hey, it's okay to go. I'm going to be okay. The soul goes, look, I told you it's okay for us to separate. They're going to be okay. And that's the most beautiful thing that you guys can give a loved one. And I've actually had during readings go, I had a mom in spirit go, I know my daughter was kind of BSing because it took her a lot of strength to even say those, but tell her I truly needed to hear those words. And I know how difficult it was for her to even say those words. So tell her thank you.
With my own father, I had to tell him, I had a sister up in Canada, and I know he was kind of waiting around for her. And I had to explain to him, the hospice nurse, she was my spiritual leader at that time. She's like, you need to explain to your dad why this person isn't here, this person, this person, and this person. So I went down the list of all his kids, why they weren't there. And it was just probably a matter of maybe 15 minutes. He passed. Yeah. And I think by design, because I was the closest to him, that he kind of didn't want an audience. And but he also had to know that they weren't coming.
And that will happen too. I'll see spirit go, you know what? Tell them I didn't want to be the center of attention. I didn't want to have people worrying about me. I didn't want them to have to, shed a tear. I'm okay and I'm gonna be okay. And that truly is the most beautiful thing. When my dad passed, this is a little comment on Insta. The days before in the hospital, I could tell he was seeing ancestors. He was looking off into nowhere, like he could see something we couldn't. He waited to pass until I wasn't there, and I remember being so upset when I wasn't there with him. That's the other thing I've seen come through in readings, you guys, so much. Spirit will say, hey, tell my daughter, tell my son, tell my wife, tell my husband, tell whomever was there. I'm so glad that they left because I didn't want them to see me take my last breath. And I didn't want that to be the last image in their mind.
Right.
So spirit, and especially if your loved ones were stubborn, honey, sometimes they will do that. They will still control or still do things their way because, again, their soul knows what your mind is probably like, that asshole. I'm just going to say it, that asshole. I wanted to be there. I was, I stuck around. I was there for 5 days in a row. But the thing is, in hindsight, spirit knows my daughter would just replay that over and over. I know that when my grandmother passed, she had a tube and she had that whole thing. I was 16. This was right before I truly knew I could talk to dead people. I knew I had gifts, but I didn't, I wasn't able to put all the pieces together. And watching them remove the tube, remove all of that, was the most horrific memory that every so often still pops in. And I chose to be there to support my mom. It was just me and my mom, and then my other young cousin who brought some not great friend with them. And we were like, what's going on? But I did it because I was in that same position of I didn't want my mom to have to go through that alone. And I didn't want my grandmother to die in a room with no one. And I was 16. I was 16 already thinking about this. And I would do it all again. However, it is so traumatic to watch them take that last breath, to watch the doctors and such remove tubes and things like that. It truly is. And I grew up on a farm, you guys. We had to butcher animals and everything. So I have a tough skin when it comes to things like that. But when it's your grandma, when it's your loved one, it's okay to kind of skip.
Well, and you were pretty young. Like with me, it was traumatic because it's not a COPD is not a lovely passing. It's very hard sometimes. Or for my mother, it was hard. And for my sisters and my dear friend that was with us, it was. But the moment of passing and the moment of freedom was beautiful because on to the next chapter, Mom. And that part of the not struggling anymore. Watching the struggle was harder than knowing that she passed because the struggle was real, but the passing was a blessing by that time. And maybe we needed to see the struggle to realize what a blessing passing was, for us.
Yeah. And one of the other things that Spirit has described when it is time to leave the body is it's almost as if they step out of a heavy coat. They get to take that heavy coat off. They no longer have the ailments. They no longer have the mental health issues. They no longer have the mobility issues. They no longer have bills. They no longer have any of those stressors.
Yeah, there's no taxes in heaven.
Yeah, there's no taxes, but I mean, you could probably get taxed in heaven, depending on how good you do here in the physical world. But they explain it to me and have me feel how it's just like taking off a heavy coat. And many souls say they feel relief and lightness. And I want you guys to always remember that. Like when you go through, I call it the shoulda, coulda, woulda. What if I did this? Or I should have done that? Or I could have done that and they could still be here. But ask yourself, is my loved one in spirit a lot lighter and a lot happier and a lot healthier now that they're no longer here in the physical world? Chances are they're doing pretty good.
I'm going to ask you a question, Daniel, on this. Yeah. Have you ever, you know how we like to have you ever, but have you ever had spirit come to you and say, Billy didn't show up for me passing and I'm mad?
No, I have had, I'm not going to lie, my grandma has popped in and she was like, why did so-and-so bring so-and-so? Like that was more of an intimate thing.
Yeah. But
however, I've seen like that, like, hey, you know what? I saw that they did that. You know, that person kind of needed them. I didn't really know them like that, but you know what? But notice in my verbiage, it's very like I'm putting myself in their shoes. So just like on the flip side of that, like, oh, Billy didn't come in and say goodbye. I literally have seen spirit go, you know what? Billy was off in college. Billy had sports to attend to. I didn't want Billy jumping on the flight. All right. I didn't want Billy having to worry about X, Y, and Z because I was already watching Billy at practice the next day.
Right. And that's what I was kind of getting to is there's really no guilt. There shouldn't be any guilt that you didn't make it. Like you'll hear people like, I got on 2 planes, a train, and then jumped in an Uber and she passed before I got there. Is she mad at me? No.
She's mad you spent all that money.
Yeah. She's like, I'm trying to get out of here before you get here. But yeah, that's kind of why I was asking you that, because that is like a big for the survivor. That is a big, heavy guilt that they like. I was really trying. I was stuck at work, and then I got stuck in traffic, and then this happened. And when my mom was passing, my brother, he literally could not get to the hospital. He was like, "I'm coming." We're like, "No, we don't want you to." You know, overprotective sisters. And he literally, I think he got a flat tire on the way to the hospital, or something happened to his car, and I think it was a tire. And we're like, man, she just didn't want him to, because that was her baby. She did not want him to see her go. Yeah, he was okay to get in a car wreck, but she didn't want him to go.
So many souls again will feel relief from physical pain immediately. Again, their souls like, you know what? We're not gonna take this on, and the consciousness becomes lighter and clear. And again, the soul doesn't die; the body does. So when we sit here and we go, what about this? What about me? What about Billy? The soul is okay. The soul is like, you know what, Billy. Busy, but I'm okay. The body is the only thing that is no longer sticking or no longer, moving. The soul, the person that you grew up with, the person that you love, the person that you talk to, they're still there. We all have a brain, right? We all have a heart. We all have all these, body parts, but what makes us different. Again, my soul, I'm a dude, you guys. I know I'm a dude. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to. I know, shocking. I'm a guy. Every single day, the guy side of me is like, girl, I wish you did not like putting makeup on because we could have been out the door. My partner takes 77 hours just to jump in a shower. Okay, I'm going somewhere with this. Okay, we're gonna find our way back. I promise. Takes him, Corey, am I lying? Does it not take Jared longer to get ready
I
than
always
me
vision
putting
he has
makeup on?
a full choreographed dance in the shower. Like, I'm
Like
not done.
it's wild, you guys. Takes him forever, right? So that when I'm not putting makeup on, I jump in the shower. I still wash all my bits and pieces, okay? And I brush my teeth, I do my hair, I do my skincare, which my skincare is like 77 steps.
It's a routine.
It's a lot. It's a ritual. And I'm still shoes on out the door way before Jared has even brushed his teeth. Am I lying, Corey?
Well, no, because he's not done with the dance.
Because he's not dancing, you guys. He truly is just like, we don't know. We don't know what he's doing.
I think it's a dance.
And no, it's like I don't know. Anywho, neither here nor there. But what I'm saying is, that's what his soul likes to do. My soul loves putting makeup on. But there are days where I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish my soul didn't love playing with all the colors in the coloring box. And I would save a lot of money. And I would also get ready quicker when I'm, putting makeup on or not putting makeup on. But my soul loves it. It truly does love it. So where I'm getting at is my soul loves makeup. Not every guy loves makeup. They don't. Not every guy likes other guys, right? Your soul is different. It sets you aside. Corey loves her colors. Corey loves her little twister shirt. That's to be continued.
I'll wear that next week so you know what we're talking about.
Corey's soul is what makes her different. My soul is what makes me different. That's the uniqueness. So just because we all have, taste buds and this and that and whatever, that doesn't mean we're all going to be the same. So when we pass and that golden cord is cut, that person, that personality, that energy, that soul isn't gone. That part of them is back in energy. It's back in energy. It's back in the spirit world. The body, the vehicle is what's no longer continuing on. So I want you guys to always remember this too about the golden cord is many spiritual traditions has literally talked about the golden cord. So you can leave here tonight, go and Google it, golden cord, not golden showers. Don't be nasty. I heard Brittany at my door and I could hear that she was like, never mind. Mama Corey now has Brittany. That's my little Pomeranian. The energetic cord connects the soul to the physical body. And again, when someone passes, that cord is released. So it's that moment when the soul fully separates from the body. And now I always get asked this all the time. Well, do people see their body? Many souls have come forward during a reading and they've said they initially observe the body. Because imagine, how many of y'all have actually astral project, right? And you literally yeah, and then you're like, wait, is that me? But I want to go have fun. Okay, I'm not dead. I'm literally sleeping. Okay, cool. I've had those moments happen. But when that golden cord is cut, they will, and spirit has showed me, I've been able to see it when they go, oh, I'm going to go with my mom. My mom's here. She's greeting me. My dog that I had from childhood, he's here. And then they'll look back and they'll look at the body and they go, oh, what just happened? It does take a moment. That's why for readings, me personally and a few other mediums in the industry will say, don't go to a medium right after it happens because there is an adjustment period. It's a different vibration. Imagine moving. When you move, do you want to host tomorrow and talk about your feelings? No. I want pizza ordered and I want other people to come and unload all these boxes because I'm tired. But it's a new environment. It's a new surrounding. It's also a memory recognition moment where you're like, this seems familiar. I've been here before. Because you have. So always remember when you want to go get a reading to give it a little bit of time. I say 3 to 6 months, okay? Sometimes a year, depends on the situation. But they're observing their body, not with fear. but with curiosity of like, hey, I can, let me tell you, Mama Corey is not passing tomorrow, just so we're clear, but Mama Corey has had a lot of knee issues. Mama Corey, the first thing you do if you were to pass tomorrow, what would you do?
Me? I
Yeah.
would tell you, my knees don't hurt.
Yeah. Run, skip, jump, do backflips, do somersaults, run up and down the stairs,
Yeah,
jump up and down a curb. She'll do all these things.
right.
Because again, you're just like, wait, hold on. I no longer have these things. So again, the soul will observe and they have that curiosity of, oh my goodness. And then they start going through a process. So this process is the light, if you will. So people often ask if when they see the light or they hear their loved one talk about the light, if it's real. And it truly is a true thing. Because again, imagine this vibration that's pure and that's loving. And it's a loving, energetic field that is now you are no longer here. And that loving aura, we'll call it, or energy field, is over here. You now get to become one. You get to cross through it. And that process feels like nothing but unconditional love. So that's what that light is. It's this love, it's this brightness. It's again no taxes, no cares, no struggles. It truly is this loving energy absorption, if you will, because you get to imagine going through a car wash. That's what Spirit has shown me. Like I get to walk through a car wash to cleanse and leave things that no longer serve me behind. And I get to be showered in nothing but pure, loving energy. And then they go into something that's called the life review. So in the life review, you get to see how you acted and reacted. And it's not about judgment. It truly isn't. It's not, what some religious.
Not the scary old judgment day.
Yeah, and it's not, what religious beliefs were, oh my goodness, you're going to, burn and all these, other things. What Spirit has showed me is the soul reviews the experience that they had here in this physical world, because this physical world is our school. It's our learning. We are supposed to learn and grow here while we're here. That's why I don't have boxes. I want to play with the colors in the color box. I want to be able to go and help people live their life. And I want to know what it feels like to walk in 6-inch heels, but also run in my Adidas. I'm not saying you have to go out and do all these things. And if you want to, go for it. But what I'm saying is do the things that your soul wants you to do. As long as you're happy and healthy, go do it. Because when you go through your life review, you get to check off some boxes. Like, you know what? I did get to do that. You know what? I did get to make a difference. You know what? I did invoke happiness. I did invoke someone else's happiness. Because again, you don't only see what you did, you see how you acted and reacted and affected. And now I'm not saying if we had, people had horrible situations and horrible, choices and decisions being here, you're going to go over there and be like, well, you know what? High five, buddy. Do better next time. What happens is when you see it, when you see the pain that you conflicted onto other people, and I'm talking about like heavy situations, just so we're clear, not only do you feel it, you're just like, wow, I didn't realize what I put that person through. But sometimes actions and choices and decisions create something called a ripple effect, and it affects the family and it affects their kids. And then those kids have a ongoing traumatic trigger over one person's choices and decisions, right? So you get to actually sit back and watch that. But you don't watch it because Spirit's like putting your face in it like a bad dog that peed in the house. Spirit is having you watch it to go, how can we help you? What can we do differently? What can we teach you? Spirit has shown me that your counselor guides will come in and say, okay, what was working for you? What wasn't working for you? And what needs work? And that's when the extra polishing, the extra conditioning, not conditioning, the extra teaching, and the extra, thank you, my love. I just heard Spirit say evolving, the extra evolving that ends up happening in this life review. And that's why when people come to me for a reading and they never, ever in their wildest dreams thought their dad that they wanted nothing to do with, but they only wanted to come and connect with mom, dad comes through and says, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. Because he took that time doing that life review and he did the work on the other side with his guides and his counselor guides and spirit guides and even other family members. I've seen this happen during readings. Other family members, like let's say mom's over there and she taught her son better. I've seen her go over there like this. You better watch. You better learn. You better listen to your guides. I've literally seen this happen where grandma said, you hurt my baby. I taught you better. And they do it with personality, right? But they also do it to help that soul learn and grow and progress. It truly is a beautiful thing. It truly is. So the only thing that truly matters in a life review is love. In what ways can we apply love? In what ways could we have done this differently? In what ways could we have changed this so that way you can grow? And how can we show the person that you affected in the physical world that love? How can we try to make it up? How can we let them know, one, I'm okay, but two, you're going to be okay? And that's where the signs come in. After passing, souls want their loved ones to know that they're still around. And that's why people will have the dreams. They'll have the butterflies. They'll have the songs. They'll have smells and electrical, flickerings and stuff. But signs are spirit's way of saying, I'm still here. And I'm okay. I've heard this so many times of, I saw the butterfly right at my mom's funeral, or I saw the ladybug, or I saw the hummingbird after moving, or when we were clearing out her house, or when we were going through stuff. Pennies. Oh, I just had that the other day. I was like, your mom's showing me pennies. And I shit you guys not. In the corner of the room, I was like, shut up, because I heard spirit, pay attention, because I typically look up when I'm doing readings. And I looked down, and there was a penny in that corner. Mind you, I was already there yesterday, and I already had a couple clients before, and I never saw the pennies until the mom said, right there, I put that penny there. Isn't that wild?
Yeah. One of the things that I want to bring up too, that we're talking about right now, is when people come to you. Like, I have watched so many gallery events and been to so many readings with you and stuff. We
have a few. Ryan can put the link. We have an evening of spirit, which is guaranteed. Everyone gets a reading, and it's through Zoom on March something. I forgot. I think it's like next week. And then March 24th, we have cocktails and spirit in Ridgefield on my actual birthday. And we also have Hello from the Rainbow Bridge, which is Mama Corey's favorite. It's all about pets.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, so when they come across, always, at least once or twice during a show, they'll tell Daniel, tell them that I can breathe again. Tell them that I'm running. Tell them that I'm no longer hooked to machines. Tell them I'm free. That comes through every single time there's an event. And
because that's the medium's job. Like, I don't just strap on heels for the fun of it. It truly is about healing. And when I worked with TV producers and I worked with, radio show, I say, oh, don't give me somebody just for funsies. Give me somebody who needs healing.
Right. And I'm going to kind of segue into the Rainbow Bridge thing, and I'm going to share both of our pain.
No, I'll cry.
I'm going to share it.
Ryan, get the link ready.
No, I had lost my little dog, and some people have already heard this story, but I'm going to share it with people that haven't. I lost my little dog, and it was
like lost it, like out of the show.
No, he passed away. He passed away, and he was only 5 years old, and I felt robbed. Number one, still do. Anyway, was it a month? Was it a month that your little guy passed?
Right after?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so we'll put it this way: the lady remembered Corey.
Well, I'm hard to forget.
That's true.
Anyway, so it was about a month, and Daniel was saying his goodbyes, and the family was saying their goodbyes, and I had just been in that room, and the vet clinic, I wish we had their name because they
Their
were
info. I was
so
actually gonna
supportive.
have it put together for when we do talking from the Rainbow Bridge, because I just opened up all of Simba's stuff the other day and I wanted to like tag that. It truly is the best experience I've had having to go through something so difficult was
Yeah.
this place.
And anyway, so I'm kind of like trying to keep busy, and I'm looking through my phone, and pictures start popping up of my dog that just had passed. And there's this little picture, and I just loved it because he would go out and run in the yard, and he'd grab like two toys. He's a Pomeranian, and he'd have these two toys in his mouth. I took a picture of it, and I'm looking at the picture, and Daniel looked at me, and he says, Johnny was just here. And I honestly, I would say, oh, okay, you're just trying to make me feel good. I kind of put a little bullshit alert up on that one. And then he goes, and he came across with two toys in his mouth.
Yeah, I was like, Mama Corey, because I'm crying, I'm sobbing.
Yeah.
They just came and grabbed Simba out of my arms after we said our goodbyes, and I go, Corey, Johnny was just here. And Corey goes, oh, okay. Well, cute. And I go, and it was so cute. He came and he offered Simba one of his toys. He had two little toys.
Oh, I had chills again.
And Corey goes, ah! She throws her phone. She goes, okay. She goes, I thought you were, just trying to comfort me and blah, blah, blah. And she goes, but you got me on that one. And then she pulled up the picture. She goes, I was just looking at this picture. I go, that's wild. When Simba crossed, I saw one of our other dogs, our family dog, Coco. I saw Carmela that passed away a year.
Did you see Jazzy?
No. And then I saw Johnny come and have two toys. And he offered Simba one of his toys, and they all went together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful.
That was.
And
yeah. And all of the upcoming events, you guys, like Hello from the Rainbow Bridge, that's online, and an Evening of Spirit. And again, that's only 11 people, and everyone's guaranteed a reading because you guys, I'm booked out till May. And that's why Ryan and I were talking and stuff, and we were like, hey, look, so many people are wanting to get in before basically the summertime. My God. Can you believe we're like right there? And I'm booked out till May, and it's just continuing, filling up. And so a lot of you guys have emailed and stuff. And so we just opened up a night, and 11 people only, 11 people will get in. It's cheaper than paying my actual private reading fee, and you don't have to wait till May. So go and check that out. And
sharing is wonderful because not only do people get a reading, they get to share their reading, and they get to share other people's readings.
Oh yeah, and you get a copy of the reading too, so you get to always have that. Yeah. So an Evening of Spirit. So that's happening next week. I want to say it's on the 11th, the 12th, something like that. I know it's next week. And then we have Hello from the Rainbow Bridge the following week. I want to say the 19th, is it? I think it's the 19th. And then I have an Evening of Spirit on my actual birthday. That's in person. That one's in person. And the reason why I'm doing 3 things this month again is I'm turning 29. I've been doing this work since I was 17. And I wanted like my own March Madness type situation. And I was like, you know what? Hello from the Rainbow Bridge is something Corey has been pushing me for so long. I had to emotionally get ready for it too. You guys, I'm going to sob. Go and get your tickets. Corey's going to sob. We'll probably be all crying together. It's so funny. Corey always goes, you could sit here and be like, oh, yeah, your mom's here. And people are like, oh, yeah, cool. But you know what? Did you have a pony? Because I see your little pony come in, and people just lose it. When it comes to animals, I love it.
Because they're innocent. They didn't cause
the makeup fool you guys and be like, what do you know about animals? I used to, and you guys will see pictures shortly. But I used to actually show steers and goats and sheeps and do 4-H for like 8.5 years. And I've won like grand champion and reserve senior champion. And I did all of that. Right.
It's kind of cute. We went to Clark County Fair for the rodeo, and Daniel's dad's all, Daniel, are you ready? Are you ready to go show some steers? His dad's all geared up
to show them the barn, and we're like showing them and like telling stories. Yeah, it was wild.
But, it was cute.
So yeah, go and check that out. Ryan has put the link in the comments and stuff. It's on my website at mediumdanielmonroe.com. It's just March Madness with Spirit. So again, Evening of Spirit, Hello from the Rainbow Bridge, and Cocktails and Spirit. And then that is the last Cocktails and Spirit, you guys. I'm taking a break. You guys know I do them in stretches, and this stretch is coming to an end because Daniel is stretched all over, and I start traveling in April. So go and
Well,
check all that out.
yeah, it's gonna last for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
Daniel's gonna take a break. I'm a dad. I got twins. They're now 6 months. You guys, they're six
Daniel
months
sent me the
old.
cutest picture of one this morning. He's all propped up on his pillow, all
We
gangster.
have our
He
little
was,
morning routine. He wakes up, we have a bottle, we play, and then he loves Coco Melon, and it's all these different songs. It's the only like cartoon he loves, and then he loves it when I speak Spanish to him, and we found a version of it that like has Spanish speaking like episodes, and he goes wild for it. He's gonna be a little blonde redheaded baby speaking Spanish, and I'm so happy about it. You guys have no idea.
yeah, he's an early morning riser, that one.
Every day. Every day it's about like 5 or 6 a.m. He's just ready to go. But we have that routine. Now Dash is like, don't wake me up until about 10. Once he's out, he's out. He's done. But I want you guys to always know that your loved ones, when they pass, they're okay. They are more concerned about you and if you're okay. Now, I don't want to get an email after this and people go, well, does that mean if I've had this happen, you guys, and let me put this rumor or conspiracy theory to rest. I am a man. I'm just joking. That's not but let me put this conspiracy to rest. If you talk to your loved one, the loved one that's passed away, if you think about them, if you go through items and you start reminiscing, that does not bother them, that does not make them stuck, that doesn't make them and hold them back in the physical world. That's not true at all. What that does do is give them love and energy, and they get to give you love and energy in those moments because you have slowed down and you have opened up your awareness and you've opened up your heart.
Yeah.
So
And it's
don't
okay to do it.
I get asked that so much. So much. So remember, love never dies. All right? You are not a body having a soul. You are a soul having a human experience. Remember that. All right? Do you want to add anything, Mama Corey, before we say goodnight to all the children?
It is it's okay to honor their memory.
Yeah.
And I went through I took my sister to New Mexico, and I had a lot of memories with my dad. And I was telling her this story and this story that I never told her. But I really felt during this, my dad was like his energy was filling my energy, and I was able to remember things that I just no number one didn't think it was important, but it meant the world to her, and I was honoring him. And it's okay to honor your loved ones and be able to tell even the simplest stories or the simplest life lesson. Do it and feel good about it. And sometimes it'll make you choke up a little bit, but the more you do it, the less you'll get sad and share, because I believe that they love being honored and acknowledged.
Yeah. Alrighty, you guys. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you on one of the events of our own spiritual March Madness, honey, because it's going to be heartfelt. It's going to be fun. It's going to be glamorous. It's going to be epic. So,
You didn't say what color theme for Cocktails and Spirit.
Well, they'll read the email. But no, it's gold. It's gold theme for Cocktails and Spirit. And we always encourage people to dress up. It just makes it so fun. And, I'm gay. I love having themes. We've done denim and we've done diamonds and we've done red and we've done a romance night for Valentine's. So it was all black with a pop of romance. And so it truly is just a vibe. And so come in your gold. And it doesn't have to be all gold. It can be like black and gold. Just wear some type of gold.
A splash of gold.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Always remember to love yourself and to be yourself. And we hope to see you very, very soon. And tune in next week because we're actually going to be doing the animal little podcast one. So we love you. Enjoy your night. And we will see you guys very soon. Mwah. Good night, you guys.
Bye-bye.